Hey guys, Boris BK Forex. Welcome to the crosses section for July 31st to August 4th, 2017. And I got to tell you, I haven't been so excited about crosses trades in a very long time. To me, one of the most interesting stories of last week was this massive breakout in Euro Swiss after multi-years of slumber. And that looks to me as the single strongest, most powerful momentum trade on the cross side that we have. So the Euro Swiss now, 110 support, 115 looks very, very possible. And I'll show this to you on the charts. Over the next week or so. The kind of momentum that we generated last week as the breakout was basically essentially fundamentally driven. It was the idea that the ECB is clearly moving to a more tightening policy. The S&P is going to stay dovish for it as long as the eye can see because of the over valuation of the Swiss franc. And that creates long-term secular trend that we start to see the big funds and the big hedge fund managers move into. And I think there's going to be some continuation here in the Euro Swiss as we go on to the next week. So to me, that's the strongest positive momentum trade to the upside we've had in quite a long time. The next look, I think that could be interesting here is the Euro Yen. And this really is going to be the belief that the US data remains relatively supportive this week. And if it does, the market tone should be more positive towards Euro Yen. Euro Yen has held, you can look at this technically, this 130 level quite well for the last couple of weeks. It looks like it's on the verge of the breakout towards the 132s, and I kind of like it to the upside as a modest trade. And then last, this is the strong versus weak combo that I like of the week. So I'm betting that the BOE is going to be pretty hawkish, irrespective of whatever the data shows. And the data is actually in the UK has been modestly better than expected over the last week or so. We do have the UK PMI services, which is going to be a very big tell this week. So far, it seems that the services component of the UK economy, despite all of the Brexit woes, has managed to hold up. And the inflationary pressures is what pushed the BOE now to a much more hawkish stance, even though Governor Carney, I think, is very much remains in a dovish camp. So if we get any kind of a modestly hawkish statement out of the BOE, that should be very, very positive cable. At the same time, I think the central bank communication out of Australia is going to have to be negative, going to have to be dovish, simply because the Aussie has had such a big run that the RBA is very uncomfortable at not jawboning the currencies. So to me, the discrepancy on the central bank communication level alone is the difference in the pound-odd trade this week. Resistance at 165, support at 162, and it looks to me like it could really go the other way. Let's take a look at the charts here in more careful detail and see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's look at Euro Swiss first, because that is the breakout candidate, certainly. Oops, sorry, I mistyped it. I'll look at a weekly move here. Look at that power weekly move. When you have that kind of a move, you have to very much respect it technically. We probed the 1400, came off it just mildly at the end of the week, and I still think that we have a strong move here towards the 1500 as the week progresses. This massive kind of breakout after multi-weeks, this is a weekly breakout after multi-months of consolidation. Super positive, very, very bullish move here. And really, of course, the full resist doesn't come into 120, which is the former SMB floor that got broken in 2015. So rarely do we have a straight up move back up to this level, but I do think we have more continuation before we come back and maybe test a little bit of profit taking. For now, I really like this to the long side as the best trade of the week. Now Euro Yen, I actually can pull it up like this. Euro Yen to me is sort of interesting just because of all this positive consolidation. We've been basically holding the 29 for 3 or 4 weeks. Any positive U.S. data puts us on path towards 132 because Euro still pretty much holds bid. I think it's just basically dollar yen getting a little bit of a benefit of a bounce. So there's still potential here for this 132. On the other hand, if we get negative data, and the key thing here, if we kind of break the 128.50, that would really seal a near-term top for Euro Yen and put this into a much more negative configuration technically, as it would be essentially a double top failure at around this 130 level. But for now, I still like it to the upside, and if we do break out, the 132 certainly comes into play. And then last but not least, here's the pound odd, the weak against the strong versus weak. So it doesn't look like it's a strong versus weak, because certainly it looks like it's been in a massive sell move here over the last 3 or 4 months. But we've held the 164, 62 level here for a week. We've held it for a second week in a row. And my argument here is fundamentally we could have a big divergence between the message from the BOE and the message from RBA, which could be the big spark to the upside. As long as the literally 162 holds to the downside, I like this trade to the upside. That would actually make it a higher low over here and it potentially move back up towards 165, maybe even 168 as the week progresses. Wish you guys the best luck, the best of trading. Should be a super interesting week as far as crosses go. Boris, over and out.